Peace and blessings. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Bossy. Today I'm coming to you live from the Botanical Gardens. Beautiful, beautiful space. If you are feeling down, if you are feeling blue, then you need to surround yourself with green. You need to come outside. You need to breathe some of this beautiful, lush, pure, gorgeous, rare air, okay? Because ain't nobody out here. It's just me, one child, and her daddy. That's the only people that's out here. And the birds, and the bees, and the butterflies, and all the other little critters and bugs. And so, first of all, I want to show you guys that I have started a book. I haven't cursed it yet, but I started a new little grimoire. And this one I am purposely making as messy as possible because I want to show people how pretty a book is when you stop, like, you know, hesitating to write in it because you don't want to mess it up. It's like, girl, destroy this grimoire, okay? Mess it up, because those are the prettiest ones. Those are the most beautiful ones. And I've been printing up sketches. I've been drawing. I don't draw that much myself, but I will print up sketches. I'll take pictures of things and print those up. I have been painting with the blood inks that I have. And I've been using my rubber stamps. You guys, if you've been following me, then you know I love me a rubber stamp. And yeah, I have a picture I found today of Santa Muerte. Beautiful. So today's topic, thriving after abuse. Thriving after abuse. This is an important topic. You don't just want to be a victim. You don't even just want to be a survivor. You want to remember how to thrive after abuse. So that is today's topic. That is what we're discussing. That is what I'm thinking about. And that is what I want to discuss with you guys. Is things change in the way that you see yourself, treat yourself, relate to yourself, feel about yourself, or not that they necessarily will change. My lived experience is that they change. Is that something happens when you experience abuse. A shock and kind of a cracking, like something happens when you experience abuse. Something breaks, something shatters. Not that it can't be repaired. Not that you can't gather all the pieces and put yourself back together. Not that you can't heal, because that's the point of the video. You absolutely can heal. And not just heal, you can thrive after experiencing harm at the hands of another. Regardless of when that may have happened, regardless of who did this thing to you, you can heal and you can thrive afterwards. But I think it's almost like going through some type of a terrible accident, some type of a terrible trauma, physical trauma, that you kind of have to relearn some things. And while the abuse that some of us have suffered may require a physical rehabilitation, I think that we also have to be, those of us who have experienced abuse, we have to become aware that there is also a need for an emotional and mental rehabilitation. You have to put your mind back together. You have to especially repair your sense of self, the way you think of yourself and the way that you see yourself. So your self-concept and your self-image. And I have found that while you can absolutely get back to a place of thriving after abuse, that type of treatment can leave you changed. But in the same way that hard work can callous the hands and make them tougher, it can make you a stronger person. And I think that while I would prefer to live in a world where we would never have to have a conversation like this, where you can be treated well and everyone you encounter recognizes that you are a precious divine being and should be handled with supreme care and loved and adored and provided for and protected at all times and in all ways. The reality is it's a lot of hurt people out here hurting people, and then there are a lot of evil people out here hurting people. Okay? And so when you have been abused, mistreated, misused, harmed by another, the first thing that I would say is I think that there will be a shock, because you come into this world totally fresh, green, not, you know what I mean? Like, there is no precedent. There is no expectation that you would be physically harmed, psychologically harmed, emotionally harmed. And what I find is that, first of all, there are so many different types of abuse. So educating yourself on the different kinds of abuse, because what I find is that some people are experiencing abuse and they don't know that's what it is. You're not aware. The shock is almost compounded by the fact that people sometimes don't even know what is happening to them. They don't know that it is abuse, especially since we live in a society filled with a lot of abusers, people who have not faced their own abuse, people who excuse, protect abusers, and who remain silent when abuse is happening. So we already are in an environment where the communication around the experience and even just the topic of abuse is very limited, very hush hush, very, we don't talk about that, very protective of the abusers. And so the people who are experiencing abuse may not even know what the hell has happened and or what is happening to them. So for example, if you don't know about financial abuse, right? Like, you have a partner who refuses to allow you to work. They keep you home. They, they stalk your debit card activity. They're constantly prying and hounding you. They're stealing money from you. They're hiding money from you, keeping money from you, blocking your access to material resources. They have kind of pitch you into a corner where you rely on them. And that's the agreement in this relationship, is that you rely on them financially, and then they bar access as a way of controlling, manipulating, punishing, or manipulating, forcing you to comply with whatever their desires or demands are. So if you don't know what financial abuse is, and this person is doing this to you, and you're not aware that this is a form of abuse, some people don't even know. Emotional abuse, psychological abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse. We still, don't seem to have a consensus that sexual abuse can happen within a relationship, can happen within a marriage. Okay? And so gaslighting, stonewalling, these are also forms of abuse. And so educating yourself about abuse, and then knowing that you will go through a period of shock. And for me, the period of shock was just like, and what it did to my self-image and my self-concept, the way that I saw myself and thought of myself, is how could anyone, especially a husband, like, this is my intimate partner, this is my spouse, you said you love me, you've been intimate with me, you're closer to me than, most anyone, like closer than the majority of the people I've ever known or ever will know. You know all about me, you know all my secrets, and you said you loved me. How could you? And I think the mind will sometimes play tricks on you, because it'll be like, this person is treating you this way for a reason. Like, maybe you're not worthy of love. Maybe you do deserve this type of treatment, and maybe you're not who you think you are. And so it can shatter the self-concept and self-image. So after experiencing abuse, recognizing what has happened to you. The first thing that you have to do is get yourself out of there. You have to get out. Abuse to me is especially physical abuse. You get into the point where you're causing bodily harm to a person. You could easily and even accidentally end a person's life. Okay. And also people who are damaging your property, they are a hair's breadth away from damaging you, physically harming you, causing you bodily harm. So you see these videos on the internet where somebody has trashed a car or fucked up somebody's entire apartment or whatever it is. Just know what happens next is that they put hands on you if they haven't already. It's not enough to say, you know, people who ain't got nothing gonna help you lose everything that you got. That's not enough. This person wants to put hands on you, and they just haven't worked up to it yet. But that's exactly what they're doing. They're working up to putting hands on you. That's what happens next. Even somebody calling you out your name and trying to cause harm to you psychologically, trying to break your confidence, trying to take you down a notch, you know, trying to get you to think less of yourself and feel less about yourself. I got bitches badder than you. Like, I've been with bitches badder than you. Like, that type of craziness, that kind of psychological abuse, like they're trying to fuck with your mind and fuck with your confidence and self-esteem and self-concept. We getting real close to you lashing out physically as well. They want to see you destroyed. They want to see you, if not destroyed, diminished. They want to see you ratcheted down. They want to see you lessened. They want to see you reduced. This is not a person who loves you. This is not a person who is safe. And this is not a person who deserves any close proximity to you, any access in your life, or any information about you going forward. This is an enemy, and they are a bold, loud, and proud enemy. They are an in-your-face enemy, which means that there is no limit to how far they will go. So the first thing you do is you get the hell away from crazy. You get the hell away from crazy. And I know in conversations like this, you always run into the fact that sometimes you, even though this person doesn't love you, you love them, and they are saying words and they are fixing the behavior for, few hours, few days at a time, and pretending to try to correct their behaviors. The truth of the matter is they have a lot of work to do, and they have a lot of healing to do, and that is going to take years. They have to fix themselves, and they need to do that the fuck away from you. That you can love a person, but what's more important than how I feel about you is my physical and immediate safety, because I can love you from anywhere. I don't have to see you to love you. You don't have to be in my face for me to care about you and to wish you well. In fact, I think I might love you a little bit more if I never have to see you again. I think I would love that. So the first thing is, and this is what my therapist said, I was going through abuse, physical, all types of abuse. We ain't got to get into it, but I was going through abuse. And my therapist said, you can't even begin to heal in a war zone. First thing you got to do is get the fuck up out of there. Molly, you in danger, girl. You got to get out of there. Okay. And how you feel about this person is less important than your safety. Your safety, your physical safety, is more important, because if that person ends your damn life, it ain't gonna matter how you feel about them, because you won't have no consciousness to feel. It won't matter. Okay, so protect your life. Live to fight another day. All right. Live to thrive another day, actually, because we're talking about thriving after abuse. So I think the next thing after, you get the fuck away from them, you go through shock and you realize what's been broken, how this thing has changed you. And one of the things that I think you have to immediately begin working on is correcting, patching, fixing, healing your self-concept and your self-image. And a book that I would recommend, I've been recommending this for years, is Dr. Maxwell Maltz's book, Psycho-Cybernetics. It talks about self-concept and self-image, how you think of yourself, how you see yourself, because everything follows the self-concept and self-image. What you do for yourself, your personal standards, what you allow, what treatment you allow, how you talk to yourself, what you work towards, what goals you allow yourself to achieve, what goals you set for yourself, what you permit in your life, and then whether or not you sustain this success or sabotage it. It's all linked to your self-concept and your self-image. So I strongly recommend that you get that book and begin reading it today. After you begin repairing your self-concept and your self-image, the biggest thing you're going to have to learn to do if you want to get back to thriving, if you want to be a person who thrives after abuse, is you have to learn new ways of taking care of yourself. If your self-esteem, self-concept, self-image, confidence becomes shattered and you slip into this place of not being able to take care of yourself anymore because you don't feel like you're a worthy person. If I was worthy, would this person have done this to me? Your mind can play tricks on you like that. So once you get back to a place where you can maybe come out a little bit out of the shock and start repairing your self-image and self-concept, this is where you have to figure out new ways of taking care of yourself. And the word that I want you to think and remember here is nourishment. The word is nourishment. Ways to nourish yourself on all levels. Ways to nourish your body. Ways to nourish your heart. Ways to nourish yourself with your habits. What habits are nourishing? Ways to nourish yourself mentally. Get a library card. I love you. Get a library card. You'll thank me later. Trust me. Ways to nourish yourself spiritually. Hello, prayer life. Hello, altar space. Hello, daily meditation practice, yoga asana. Hello, tarot and astrology. Okay? Ways to nourish yourself. Hello, journaling. That could be mental and spiritual. Okay? Hello, affirmations and mirror work. Hello, new growing collection of spiritual tomes that I study every Friday and Saturday for the Sabbath. So, nourishing foods, nourishing art, nourishing rituals, daily rituals, walks outside, your favorite places in your city, nourishing conversations, nourishing friendships, and nourishing practices, things that feed your soul. You're going to need that because when somebody abuses you and it messes with the way that you see yourself, it can absolutely it can absolutely start to mess with the way that you take care of yourself. And I think that this is where you see some people kind of letting themselves go. And it's your mind playing tricks on you. It's like, well, I don't want to, doll myself up and pretty myself up and, because I don't want to keep it. I don't want to attract that experience again, or I'm not worthy and that kind of stuff. One thing that you have to absolutely understand, especially if you've experienced abuse, verbal, physical abuse, is you didn't deserve that shit. It's impossible for you to have deserved that. It also wasn't your fault. It could not have possibly been your fault. At the same time, recovering and healing is your responsibility. Is this what I would have wanted to be doing with my life? Trying to put myself together after this motherfucker done come up in here and tore me apart? Is this what I would have wanted to be doing with my life? No, it's not, actually. I could think of a million things I would rather be doing. Okay. But it is my responsibility and I handle my responsibilities. And the thing about healing is, as a practice, nourishing yourself, because nourishing, I think, is a better, stronger, and more accurate term. Nourishing yourself is actually quite pleasurable. It's quite pleasant. It's quite a pleasure to take care of yourself in this way. But there are some really nasty bits that you got to kind of get through. And that's like getting through the shock of it and then facing the reality that you may find yourself slipping into some gnarly habits, ways to give yourself a kind of dopamine hit, to make yourself feel better in the moment, like smoking, drinking, fucking, I probably shouldn't have said the F word, sorry. But, doing things that you acting out a little bit, but it's really just ways that I'm trying to make myself feel something or feel better in the moment. It's the quick fixes and the things you can easily reach for. But because we're not just trying to feel better for the moment, we're trying to nourish ourselves. And nourishment, I think, is finding ways to take excellent care of yourself and to give yourself sustenance that will create good, long-lasting effects. So okay. I think we're looking for ways that we can take care of ourselves that will create good results in the long run, in the long term, not things that will compound the problems that we already have. So I don't need to be smoking on top of all the shit I've already been through. How about some breath work, some trauma-informed yoga practice, or daily walking meditation, or, some rituals that can help me keep my head on straight and get the things done that I need to get done so that my life runs smoothly and I'm able to, function as I am putting myself back together and remembering who the F I am, okay? So I wrote a note here. It says abuse can shatter your sense of self, your self-concept and self-esteem especially. It makes self-care less of a priority, if not an all-out impossibility. The good news is, just like you can forget yourself, you can also remember yourself. And then you rise from the ashes of disappointment like a phoenix, better than ever. You might also consider supporting the universe. You might also consider supporting the universe and hexing abusers. Help the universe restore harmony and balance, okay? One thing to learn is that you are altogether worthy and you didn't deserve what happened to you. It's not your fault. At the same time, it is your responsibility. It's up to you to heal, to course correct, to find your footing and to get back on the horse. Now, when I say that the abuse ain't your fault, if you had the power, because people act like you had the power, like it happened because of you, because of something you did. And that's absolutely not true. Because if I had the power to make it happen and I'm the reason it happened, can I also have the power to make that shit stop? Like, wouldn't I have just stopped it if I was the one making it happen? It's not your fault that it happened. So after getting Dr. Maxwell Maltz's book, Psycho-Cybernetics, okay, and starting to study that to turn your self-esteem and self-concept and self-image around, then I urge you to discontinue any and all communications with people who blame you for what an abuser did to you. You got to stop talking to these people who side with abusers. They are wrong. They are confused. They are unwise, and they are insensitive. They likely blame themselves for whatever abuse they may have endured in their lives at the hands of someone else. And you don't have time to fix them, so you need to leave them. Put on your own life vest and mask. Take care of yourself. You don't need to suffer twice. Or 3 times, really, because sometimes you'll see people who first you experience the abuse, and then after that you experience the blame from people who side with the abusers, these crazy people. And then third, a person is suffering again because they won't allow themselves to have any relationships. Like now I won't even allow myself to be in relationship with new safe people. That's something that I had to learn to move past. It's easy for me to cut off people who blame me for what happened to me. What was difficult was for me to allow myself to have new friends and new connections and, a new partner. But I literally said to myself, I'm not about to suffer twice. You don't get to harm me and then prevent me from experiencing a lush, lovey-dovey life. No, you will not win. I will not continue to suffer. You can go straight to damn hell. You can go to hell. All right. So You don't need to suffer multiple times, first at the hands of the abuser, and then by interacting with these plum fools, and then by refusing to allow yourself close and new safe relationships with good people. Instead, when you are ready, we get to face reality. Step one, some people ain't shit. This is reality. I'm going to give you a quick pep talk. Some people ain't shit, and your abuser falls into that category. Two, people will do anything. Some people will do anything, even the unthinkable. Yes, it's shocking. Yes, it boggles the mind. Yes, it makes you feel like you can't even think. You don't have to be shocked, even though words do nothing against shock. But I'm telling you, I'm still going to say it. As soon as you can remind yourself, some people will do anything, even the unthinkable. You don't have to stay in a state of shock because, yeah, some people will do anything, even the unthinkable. 3, common sense ain't common and neither is wisdom. You got people who are telling you that it's your fault, or they're saying something stupid like, well, why would he do that when he got all this and he got me? Not believing you, or, well, what did you do? I called my ex-husband's mom and I told her what he did, and she said, well, what did you do? Okay, I got something for that ass. I got something for that. I'm not even gonna tell you what I did to this lady the last time I seen her. I don't want y'all to see me that way, but I had something for that ass. Okay. Yeah, common sense ain't common and neither is wisdom. So people are blaming you for what somebody else did. You dealing with an idiot, and that's okay. You dealing with a fool ass idiot. It is what it is. Connect with some wise people. Move away from them. Yes. Number 4, the abuse ain't your fault. The abuse ain't your fault. It couldn't be your fault. If you had the power to make it happen, wouldn't you have had the power to make it stop? Somebody victimized you. Somebody did something to you. Somebody harmed you. Somebody attacked you. Often knowingly. Often with the intent to cause harm. That is not your fault. That is not your fault. Anybody saying it's your fault is a damn idiot. And you should spend less of your time, your precious time, interacting with them. Number 5, people who side with abusers are the reason abusers persist and thrive. So come away from them fool ass people. I said that like 10 times. Come away. Come away from them. Okay, number 6, you can heal. And number 7, healing is actually quite pleasurable. So how do you nourish yourself? How do you take care of yourself? I want you to really think about this and figure out what are the practices that I can do that feed my soul, right? So your soul, of course, is your heart, mind, your will. So what are the rituals, daily routines, habits, the emotional, things that feed me emotionally? So that could be art, it could be music, it could be dance. That could also be for physical, but anything that moves you, okay? Anything that makes you cry, that helps you reconnect to your own emotions, anything that helps you process your feelings. And mentally, is there a study of something I could take up? Could I start learning an instrument or a language? That could be fun. Or some type of new practice. And then how can I nourish myself spiritually? Meditation, yoga asana, labyrinth, walking the labyrinth, a little walking meditation every day, mindfulness practice, Zen meditation. You could do a lot of different things. So how can I feed myself spiritually? It could be as simple as a daily practice of prayer, which I would recommend. I think it's great because then you have the opportunity to kind of get it off your chest and say what you need to say and, talk to the big G and, vent and let that stuff out, and probably even get yourself to get some of those tears flowing. Who you looking for? You looking for some? Oh, okay. Okay. I'll be done in 2 minutes. Okay. And then what are some things you can do to nourish yourself physically? That's, stretching, sauna bathing, forest bathing, being out in nature, going to the river, going to the ocean, connecting with nature in any way I think is really good for us physically. Choosing more nourishing meals, at least one good nourishing meal a day, and moving that body, baby. Dancing, exercising, a little jazzercise, something, a little weightlifting, maybe a self-defense class or a weapons class, a little click boom for the girls. Finding ways to nourish yourself physically. And why I know that this works is, one, I've done it. And two, when you get back into the practice of nourishing and taking care of yourself, it does something to the mind. It like makes your mind bloom. It is the reminder that we all need, that I don't have to wait for anyone else to see that I am precious and worthy of love, and that I deserve a peaceful life, and that nobody should be approaching me, talking to me, talking about me, touching me in any way other than that which is loving and consensual and caring, that I am a divine being worthy of love and the utmost care. And I'm going to prove that to myself by doing it for myself instead of waiting. Because you wait for some of these fools, you'll be waiting your whole life. Do it for yourself. And then the bonus is, the way you treat yourself is how other people will tend to treat you. I hope that this video has been useful to you. We'll talk again soon. Peace. So that was pretty much the end of the video, but I am at home editing now, and I wanted y'all to see the park, or the gardens, the botanical gardens. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna try and go through this very quickly. It's so beautiful. So while I'm showing you the images of the botanical gardens, I'm gonna share a voice note that I got from one of my friends, and I hope that this video is useful and helpful to you, and I hope that you find yourself thriving after whatever you've gone through. And I hope you find your way back to yourself. Okay, bye.
But I just wanted to say hi first off. Happy Thursday, Jupiter Day. I hope you're feeling expansive and imaginative and allowing yourself to dream. I watched your most recent YouTube video last night, and it was everything. I just want you to know that I love you. I love your mind, and I love your heart and your passion and your anger and your defiance, your defiant nature, your Sagittarian nature, which is all about freedom. I'm just grateful to, I'm gonna cry. I'm grateful to be alive in a time that you were alive as well. And I'm grateful that the universe brought us together. And yeah, I'm just thinking about you. Um, Death Alchemist Radio is live. I'm gonna send you the trailer and the mini episode right now. I'm so excited about it. I feel it coming together.